So there's one thing that all great ball strikers do that not many club golfers do. So I'm going to hit a shot and see if you can see what it is. It's a good one. So did you see it? So the key that most club golfers don't do is this triangle. So between the arms, they'll see that at setup, it's absolutely fantastic. And as we move into our backswing, the best players in the world maintain that gap. Whereas what you tend to see with a lot of club golfers is that gap gets bigger, the club moves off, and then lots of compensatory movements in the downswing. Obviously, the more moving parts, the less chance of you being consistent. So, I know what you're thinking. That sounds dead easy. I can do that. But what you'll see with most guys is they want to make that big turn, full length backswing. But as they swing back, they'll get to a point where the elbows will start to splay. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've videoed myself. That happens with me. So how can we check, first of all, whether you can do it with a full backswing, and if you can't, what you need to do in order to keep that gap perfect to really help with that ball striking. So the little test is stand nice and straight, arm up, and then rotate that forearm back as far as you can. So you can see for me there, I can get my forearm slightly past my spine angle. That's first part of the test. The second one is to get into your golf posture, do the same thing, and then rotate back. So again, I can probably just get past my spine angle. So my shoulder, my right shoulder's good. Now that would show me that because of that, when I swing back, I can get a long way back and still have that elbow down. But if you're somebody that in golf posture is like this, you're gonna have a big issue. Because when you make your swing, at some point that's less than spine angle. And as you go further back, it can't get past spine angle, that forearm. So you have to do that. So if the elbow comes out for you and you fail the test, that isn't a swing fault, it's a swing characteristic. But I know what you're thinking. I don't want a characteristic I don't like. So what you need to work on is if you could have your backswing shorter, you will still maintain that less than spine angle and be much, much better at maintaining that triangle down into impact and part way into the follow through. So if you do fail, the first thing I want you to do is go waist high and through. And just see, you do a few shots with it, see what that ball striking's like. So you've got yourself set. Absolutely pure. Definitely misjudged it with ego today. 165 back into the wind with a 7-iron isn't going to get there, but we could see high quality strike, straight at the target, and to be honest, not a million miles short of where my full one would be. So if you're somebody then that goes, right, the little half swing felt good, rehearse, go back and see how far back you can swing while that's maintained. And when you start getting to the point where the elbow has to move, that's too long. So if I did it, I feel I can probably only get to about here in my swing, and I definitely get a bit longer than that, particularly with my longer clubs. So I'm going to rehearse where I can get to, and I'm almost feeling like I'm squeezing the forearms together to keep that triangle, and then through. And then we set up over the ball. I've got a little feel for what I need to do. And again, that's absolutely ripped. 20 yards short of the green because it's too windy for me today. But we can see great contact. Can also see, do videos on this, about how the divot is after the ball. So my low point's ahead. I'm de-lofting the club into impact. So I'm getting lots of ball speed off that club face. So we're going to go one more. Squeezing the forearms together. Keep them squeezing, and then on the way through, again, you could do the test with your left arm to see if potentially a little bit of chicken wing might be a swing characteristic. But this is more about backswing and down into impact for today. So we're going to set up, we're going to go one more, see if we can get all the way to that flag. It's straight at it, and there's the wind killing it, and no. But we can see, if we can start whatever that gap is, and some guys will be a little wider to begin with, but if you've got that gap there, if you can maintain that distance in your backswing, it's much easier then as you swing down to keep the club on plane. We're not having to manipulate the face a lot at impact. The weight's into that lead side, ball and then turf, and you just might start striking it more like the best players in the world.